Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and McDonald's did not sell peppermint mochas in my town this year. Usually over November, they have a period of time where they have the peppermint mocha, and I like to get at least one per season. This year they discontinued the peppermint mocha, and so I decided I would go and get Dunkin' Donuts version of the peppermint mocha today. On my way to Dunkin' Donuts, this is what my 7-year-old said. He said, "Daddy, can I get a Coke?" I said, "You don't need a Coke." He said, "But I thought you were the best daddy in the whole world." 7-year-old gets a Coke. This actually happened this morning. But I got my peppermint mocha, so everybody won. Now, we can't start this video without telling you all, if you weren't paying attention, that my Auburn Tigers beat the Alabama Crimson Tide in football. This happens once every two to 4 years, and it's pretty much always Auburn is beating a better and more athletic team in Alabama. And the times that it happens is so great because we know that they have more athletes on the field, and everything has to go our way and fall our way in order for it to happen. And it did happen last night. It's one of the better games that I've seen in a long time. So there you go. Now I wanted to make sure I gave a shout out yesterday on this show. I showed you this information, but I didn't realize that the information came from this guy, Matt, at Matthew L-I-N-Y. He's the guy that actually found this information about Deutsche Bundesbank. And these slides that you're looking at here that I showed you yesterday that had Ripple in them. So I wanted to make sure I gave him the proper credit. We showed this yesterday. You may remember the Ripple down here, and it showed Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that. But this one right here, I believe, was the most interesting slide. Use of crypto technology, DLT settlement platform, Ripple, and then Ripple, and they've got Swift and Bitcoin here. So anyway, wanted to make sure you understood that he was the guy that came up with this information, at Matthew L-I-N-Y. Then there is this. Yesterday, this was also from yesterday, but I want to make sure we reiterate it was such an important thing that came out of Mr. B's first video. And if you don't subscribe to him, go give Mr. B on YouTube a subscribe. He's now done his first video. I'm sure there's going to be more to come, and you can follow him here at XRP Mister. And another guy you want to follow is Cryptopolis, at Cryptopolis_X. Now, because Cryptopolis, this is what we were talking about yesterday. When you go onto Coinbase Pro, which most likely for a lot of us will be a cash out spot when we do our exit from XRP, if you plan on selling any at all. The topic that they were talking about yesterday was, and I believe it was Coining 203, who was another follower. Coining 203 had found this, where Coinbase Pro had this thing where you have to sign up. You have to give them your tax information by December 31st, or you could have problems exiting when the time comes. They're just doing all kinds of KYC checks and making sure that all the ducks are in a row here. And so you need to do this. Well, Cryptopolis went and did it. I did the same thing yesterday. It doesn't take a long time. You'll get this. It'll show status accepted. The tax information you provided was successfully validated. You may edit it until December 31st. And so you've got to do this before December 31st. It says this Cryptopolis says this is an important step, or Coinbase may restrict your account, or worse. It's not on Coinbase, it's on Coinbase Pro. Same user pass as Coinbase, but different URL, pro.coinbase.com. Look for the taxes tab. You'll see it right here. And taxes tab, your profile that must be filled out for December 31st. Whatever you do this today if you haven't done it. Next, from Michael at VAL5 Links, less than a week after its previous surge, XRPL transactions have hit another all-time high. This time the transaction figure soared to 4.52 billion on the 28th of November. And the one thing I'll say about this is while everybody is feeling this negative market sentiment and all, while that's going on, we are in a better place for Ripple and XRP than we've ever been in the history of this investment. There's more progress, but not just for Ripple and XRP. There's been more progress for the digital asset space than any time in history. I don't care what the prices are or were. Right now, as I sit here right now on the 1st of December, 2019, we're in a better spot from the perspective of digital assets, Ripple and XRP and other digital assets that have use case than any other time in the history of this space. That's a fact. Nobody can argue with that fact. The only thing that does not match up to where we are versus where we were 5 years ago or even in 2017, the only thing that does not match up is the price. Well, to me, that says there's opportunity in them there hills. I mean, that's what, when I see that things don't match up, they don't make sense, that's when I see buying opportunity. And that's why I continue to buy these dips. Michelle Vandenberg sent me this. A few people sent this, and it's a big deal. CJ Miller says it's absolutely amazing to see the XRP manifesto coming to life. Nicely done, digital nomad. This is digital nomad investor. Corporate debt nears a record $10 trillion, and borrowing binge poses new risks. A decade of historically low interest rates has allowed companies to sell record amounts of bonds to investors. Michael VAL Filink summed it up like this. I think he took this out of the article. A decade of historically low interest rates has allowed companies to sell record amounts of bonds to investors, sending total U.S. corporate debt to nearly $10 trillion, or a record 47% of the overall economy. What's great, folks, is there's nothing about any of this that makes any sense, and yet the stock market keeps going up like crazy. And if you haven't watched it yet, you can, if you want to get the exact correct vibe, and I've seen people post this before, go and watch The Big Short today. While this crypto market is down, go watch The Big Short today and watch towards the end of the movie when these guys, they knew that they had done the exactly correct smart thing in betting against the housing market, which had been, it was nothing but a bubble, had been a complete disaster. People were getting mortgages that couldn't even afford to have one, and they had multiple mortgages. Nothing about it made any sense, and yet their investments that were betting against the mortgages towards the end of that movie, the investments were not going up, even though the real estate market was collapsing. Nothing about it made sense. And they had to sit there and have all their investors get mad and get all upset and everything and say, well, why isn't our investments going up and all that? And they had to go through all of that. But one fine day, when all of the insanity stopped and that merry-go-round stopped, those guys that knew they were betting on the right thing against the ridiculous housing market, they won, and they won big. That's exactly what is going to happen here. Everything that I have done in this crypto market, now, there were times, not now, there was a time in 2014, 15 where I thought I had been wrong. It wasn't until maybe a year after that I woke up one morning and realized I had not been wrong. And the things I've seen built since that time, and actual things that I've seen and in person with major players in this industry now, now I know I was right. But there were many times back then where there was real reasons to be scared. And now's not one of those times. But anyway, moving along. Then Cryptopolis comes in, more debt and negative interest rates. I thought this Bloomberg headline was sarcastic. Apparently it's not. See the second sub-headline there. These are the morons we have running central banks. The way out for a world economy, hooked on debt, yet more debt. Cheap borrowing costs have sent global debt to another record. Options to revive economic growth require even more borrowing. This is insanity. This is cuckoo, one flew over the cuckoo's nest stuff here, folks. And these are the people that are running the world economy. That's why I know you and I are the ones that are right. These people are clowns, and they are doing the exact wrong thing. This is going to bite the world right in the butt. And when it does, I believe that the people that did the smart thing and invested in things that go against all of that is what is going to win. That's what I've always believed. I've believed it since 2013. I believe it more now than I ever have. Mr. B, at Mr. B XRP, or at XRP Mr. Sent me this. Now, this is from the Joker. I follow. He's one of the few traders that I follow. At Kia Crypto. It says XRP is trading below 23 cents, and it is great. Never felt so good. Charts indicate a dip to 8 cents to 13 cents is possible. More it dips, harder it pumps, cheaper, better. Well, I don't know. I hope he's wrong. I hope that we don't go 8 to 13. But if we do, then he's 1,000% right. It'll be the more it dips, the harder it'll pump, and it's a better place for me to buy in. This is the way I see it, and I do continue to buy. I still buy XRP, and I really don't buy any more Bitcoin. I have a set amount, and I don't buy any more. But I continue to buy XRP. Every time I have an extra $150 laying around, I buy XRP. So I don't tell, I'm not an investment advisor, as you know, so I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you what I do. Next, let's see. Bob Ballooney, at Bob Ballooney, sent me this. I thought this was interesting. This is one of those transactions on the XRP ledger. Somebody had put a funny memo in here on this transaction. It says, escrow release button and write, let's see, XRP community lingo. Anyone can delicately tap the escrow release button and write a memo with it. Just don't get all smashy, whatever that means. Hence, this memo isn't written by Ripple. Almost all monthly escrow is relocked at month end, barring a small amount. So cool your jets. The revolution will be televised, which is a Jungle Inc. saying. And it says the official escrower of the DAI channel. So I have an official escrower now. All right, Bond Crip. Now, I thought this was great. I can't remember if I've ever read this quote from the CEO of MoneyGram, but I wanted to show you this is from Fool, the Motley Fool, which is kind of like a mainstream financial news outlet. And they put a quote in here from the CEO of MoneyGram. Our partnership with Ripple is transformative for both the traditional money transfer and digital asset industry. For the first time ever, we're settling currencies in seconds, and in seconds, encouraging us to expedite expanding our use of on-demand liquidity. I mean, that's big time. Now, this right here I wanted to show you because I wanted to, I've said it before, but it's worth saying again. This is from our buddy at ECOSSEXRP1. Give him a follow. Wow, Zcash is going to crypto hell. He's talking about how Zcash is crashing. Now, I'm not going to tell you that because it's a privacy coin or all privacy coins are going to crash and go to nothing. I'm not going to make that statement. But what I am going to tell you is this. There's two reasons I don't invest in privacy coins like Monero or Zcash. It's not because I don't think they're good technologies. I think they are. But the same reason that I decided to focus on XRP instead of the Bitcoins of the world, that same reason where Ripple had gone to the regulators, for that same reason, I stay away from privacy coins, because privacy coins by their own nature represent what the government obviously feels is a threat to it. I don't want to be any part of that. I don't want to be any part of anything that the IRS would view as being somewhere people are trying to hide their assets. That's why these privacy coins are being delisted on a lot of exchanges, and probably a lot more to come. So as regulations come in more and get in place, you're going to see more of this where these get delisted. So the question you need to ask yourself, even if you love the idea of privacy coins, as we've said 1,000 times, the digital asset space is a risky space. You face several risks in digital assets. It's a burgeoning technology, There's a lot of different reasons that it's a risk. But with privacy coins, you're adding on yet another risk that some of the others don't have. You're adding on that risk of being at odds with governments. Bitcoin's enough at odds with the governments, and it's not a privacy coin. Well, add the privacy feature to it, and all of a sudden you could have crackdowns across the world, and I think you are having and will have more, where they just say no privacy coins and keep you from being able to cash out on them. And it would, in that scenario, it would become a total black market where it might be difficult for you to even get your investment out. So I wouldn't go anywhere near them, and I don't. Chinu Patel at Chinu Patel 29. This guy is the CEO and founder of Delta Exchange. I don't know if I'm familiar with Delta Exchange or not. It's a crypto derivatives exchange. His name's Pankaj Balani, I guess. All blockchain tech, and I think I've read this quote to you before, but I love it so much it's worth reading again. It's from an interview with Mark Yusko from Morgan Creek Capital. All blockchain technology is that it's a way to move value over internet protocol. The first $10 trillion company, the first trillionaire is all going to come out of this space, because we're fundamentally changing the way we exchange value. I totally agree with what he's saying. That is going to happen. Now, the part Mark Yusko is wrong about is that it's not going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be the one. Stuart XRP at XRP_Stuart, Innovative Finance, March 2018. Marcus Treacher from Ripple. We recreated an internet model, and we recreated an IP protocol, which we call ILP, Interledger Protocol. And then we used that technique to create a network which is infinitely scalable, just like the internet. And what he's saying right there, folks, he says he's basically telling you what Ripple has done for digital assets is created just like the internet did, where you don't have just an internet for this company or an internet for this government entity. It connected the internets. It made it where you could send email from a Microsoft email address and then send that to another company or another individual network, and it connected them all. This is what is going on with the Interledger Protocol from Ripple. It's going to change everything. Ripple and XRP are the ones, and they always have been. I've been saying it on this channel for a long time. Now, this was funny. There was a media thing where Christine Lagarde was signing one of these euro, I guess, bills. And it was a video where she's signing her name to the let me see if I can back it up. Well, no. Anyway, she signed her name right here. Well, some genius took this off, and look, they added Ripple down here, but then this is my favorite. They took all that stuff off the top and they made it look like she was signing XRP. So I will be using that as a thumbnail. Let's give Ant, this is at Ant159694954. I'll be using that that's the ultimate thumbnail that will go with this video today. Now, you have, I think, today and tomorrow left. You can get these, if you're still doing Christmas shopping, you can get all the products on Ledger's website for 30% off. And that, if you haven't gotten a Ledger Nano S yet, to store your digital assets off of these exchanges so that nobody can steal them, hackers can't get to them. They've got all of these things. They're 30% off, whether it's a Ledger Nano S that was $59. Now you can get it for $41. The Ledger Nano X was $119. You can get it for $83. Or you can get a pair, an X and an S, for $104, and it's usually $178. This link is in the description of every video I've ever done. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. Tell your friends and family. You got 1 or 2 more days. I think it's 2 more days left to get a Ledger Nano S at 30% off. Thank you for listening.